So I'm reading from I Am That, the chapter, it's chapter 12. And apparently from my notes, I haven't read this here since 1992. We may have forgotten, right? Since the last time we heard. It's very powerful. And if each one of us, including myself, can really get this message, there is no reason why transformation, full transformation, can't have its beginning this evening. So that we find ourselves at the end of 2010 completely different individuals in the sense that we're no longer victims of the past. I think we all want that, otherwise we wouldn't be sitting here. Question. Kindly tell us how you realized. Talking to Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, who was an uneducated shopkeeper from Bombay, who sat with his teacher on and off during a period of 3 years, and at the end of those 3 years emerged, having listened to his teacher's instructions, emerged as a completely realized being, speaking as a scholar speaks. Kindly tell us how you realized. Maharaj, I met my guru when I was 34, and I realized by 37. That's his answer. Question. Yes, but what happened? What was the change? I always tell you, and I remind myself, every word, every response, every sentence is a treasure from Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, from all of them. What happened? What was the change in you? Maharaj, pleasure and pain lost their sway over me. I was free from desire and fear. I found myself full, needing nothing. I saw that in the ocean of pure awareness, on the surface of the universal consciousness, the numberless waves of the phenomenal worlds rise and subside beginninglessly and endlessly. I saw that. As consciousness, they are all me. In other words, the numberless waves of the phenomenal worlds, as consciousness, they are all me. As events, they are all mine. There is a mysterious power that looks after them, all those events. And that power is awareness. That power is self, pure self. It is life, it is God, whatever name you give it. It is the foundation, it is the ultimate support, that power of all that is. Just like gold is the basis for all gold jewelry. And that power is so intimately ours. That power, that is the foundation of all the worlds that come and go, is intimately ours. Take away the name and shape from the jewelry, and what remains? The gold remains. And the gold becomes obvious when you take away the name, the form of the jewelry. Be free of name and form, be free of desires and fears they create, then what remains? He says to this question, take away name, take away form, take away desires and fears created by name and form. What remains? Question. Nothingness. Maharaj. Yes, the void remains, But that void is full to the brim. It is the eternal potential as consciousness is the eternal actual. It is the eternal potential, that void, as consciousness. Thank you. As consciousness is the eternal actual. Question. Wait, do you mean by potential the future? Maharaj, past, present, and future, they are all there in the potential, and infinitely more. Question is, look, since the void is still void, it's of little use to us, right? Maharaj, how can you say that? Without a breach in continuity, how can there be rebirth? Can there be renewal without death? Even the darkness of sleep is refreshing and rejuvenating, no? Without death, we would have been bogged up forever in eternal senility. I'm going to read it again, it's so good. Without death, we would have been bogged up forever in eternal senility. Who would want that? Who would want that? But he's saying even the gap that occurs in meditation, when we drop name and form, we drop time and space, and we find ourselves in the spiritual black hole, we emerge from that renewed, rejuvenated, young, ever fresh. Show me a meditator who has always meditated in a genuine way, in a truthful way, honestly, steadily, with love, with affection, with enthusiasm. You'll never find that person jaded, sophisticated, rigid, judgmental, holding on to grudges. Never. You find them childlike, innocent. You know, you give a child a lollipop, the child will jump on your lap and kiss you and hug you. If you are upset with the child and you give the child a spanking, the child won't go near you. But if you hold out another lollipop, the child forgot the other thing, will come to you. That's what innocence is. Animals are like that. If you change your behavior to an animal, the animal, right? I don't own a dog, but I know if you change your behavior to a dog, show him love instead of anger, instead of cruelty, that dog will change its behavior to you. Because it's an innocent nature. It takes you for what you are in the present, right? It doesn't hold on to something that happened in 1972, especially you've been nice to it since then. Question, is there no such thing as immortality? Good question. Maharaj, when life and death are seen as essential to each other, as two aspects of one being, that is immortality. If you've ever wondered what immortality is, he defines it. When life and death are seen as essential to each other, as two aspects of one being, an uninterrupted cycle, that is immortality. To see the end in the beginning and to see the beginning in the end is the intimation of eternity. Definitely, immortality is not continuity. Only the process of change continues. Nothing lasts. Question. Awareness lasts. Maharaj, awareness is not of time. Time exists in consciousness only. Beyond consciousness, where are time and space. We know, some of us, that Gurdjieff's meditation usually began with the words, drop everything, go meditate, meditate on I am, beyond name and form, beyond time and space, beyond anything recognizable. Drop everything. Sometimes he said, drop even me. Have no memory of even the one who's speaking these words. Drop everything that's in your way of merging with self, which is yoga. Questioning. Well, you say to go beyond name and form. Within the field of your consciousness, there is your body, right? Maharaj, of course. But listen to his answer. In a natural way. We don't have to pay too much attention. If we're cold, without thinking too much, we reach for a blanket, right? We don't have to do that much thinking about the body. The mind's already tuned in to the needs of the body. So he says, the mind looks after the body, all right. I don't have to interfere with his awareness, with his witnessing. What needs to be done is being done in the normal and natural way. You may not be quite conscious of your physiological functions, but when it comes to thoughts and feelings, desires and fears, that's when you become acutely self-conscious. It's interesting, he says, in another point, he says that when we get up, if I wanted to walk over to the door or to Karma, I would walk. I wouldn't have to think, now first I put my left leg, and then I put my right leg. No. When I'm hungry, I automatically respond to the dinner bell. Because the body wants to eat. But that we let happen automatically. We don't have to think. They say, what is that bell? I wonder why I'm salivating. Oh, you don't think like that. You're aware of salivating, you just go to eat, you're hungry. But he's saying, when it comes to your thoughts and your feelings, your desires and your fears, that's when you become acutely self-conscious. To me, these are also largely unconscious. I just find myself talking to people, or doing things quite appropriately, correctly, without being very much conscious of them. It looks as if I live my physical, waking life automatically, reacting spontaneously and accurately. We don't fall over when we're walking. We walk. We expect the body to perform as it learned to perform. Question. Does this spontaneous response, this appropriate response, come as a result of realization or by special training? Maharaj, both. Devotion to your goal makes you live a clean and orderly life, given to searching for truth and to helping people. So devotion to your goal makes you live a life that will be part of the journey. And realization makes noble virtue easy. Realization, meaning understanding, makes noble behavior, noble thinking easy and spontaneous by removing for good the obstacles in the shape of desires and fears and wrong ideas. You see, Gurdjieff knew we were all busy. We were all busy. The ashram was open only on weekends in the 60s, in the early years. So he didn't demand too much of us. He knew we were working, he knew we had families, he knew we had other interests, careers. But he did urge within those limitations that we meditate, reserve time to meditate at least 15 minutes, half hour, depending on our lives, so that we could get a taste of a world beyond what we had accepted as real, because we had never known any other. But he was taking us through meditation into the electrical energy, to the body of dynamic energy, the body of awareness, the subtle body of memory, the collective unconscious, taking us beyond, 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 until after a while, we didn't like this world so much. This wasn't as exciting. This wasn't as freeing as that 15-minute world. And gradually, his trick paid off. He was tricking us, giving us a little taste of ice cream, so that we would eat the rest of the meal and get to the ice cream at the end. Mothers do that. This is coming if you eat all your dinner. One lick, up, back in the freezer. Old tricks of mothers. Do it with little pets. You give them a taste. Guruji gave us quite a taste. And after a while, he didn't have to urge us to meditate longer or more often. We wanted it. We had the enthusiasm, the excitement, because a fragrance came, a taste came that was undeniable and very familiar. We knew it. We remembered it. It was home. So gradually, our devotion became natural. Devotion to your goal makes you live a clean and orderly life, given to search for truth and to helping people. That's part and parcel of the journey to self-realization. You have to give of yourself. You have to give service. You have to think outside of yourself. You have to think outside of this box. That's not funny. I think of the body as a box. It encloses the self, encloses the soul. People are always saying, think outside of the box. I said, I don't want to think inside the box or outside the box. I want to drop thinking altogether unless it's absolutely necessary. Because that's what comes one day. You want to stop thinking. I want to stop talking. You want to stop thinking because you know that it's the thinking that has you locked in this box of memory. That box of memory is the storehouse of the past. In order to break free and to fly, we can fly even beyond where the birds fly. We can go to other planets as consciousness. You can feel it in meditation that you've taken off. Guruji called it the rocket ship of I am. You take off, and you don't care if you never come back. But you come back because desires bring us back. However, each time we get on that rocket ship, we get on for a longer ride, wanting a longer ride before we return. One more page of this, and we can move on to the next. Don't you have desires and fears anymore? Maharaj, he speaks quite a bit. My destiny was to be born a simple man, a commoner, a humble tradesman with little of formal education. My life was of the common kind, with common desires and fears. But when through my faith in my teacher and obedience to his words, I realized my true being, I left behind my human nature to look after itself until its destiny is exhausted. What a statement. I realized my true being. I left behind my human nature, meaning my old persona, the person whom I was conditioned to be, but who is not really what I am. I left behind my human nature to look after itself until its destiny is exhausted. The body is taking care of itself. Occasionally it's out of order. You bring it into the doctor to see what he can do. If he can't do anything, you come back and you ask to be placed on the healing prayer at the ashram. And then you forget about it. A lot of people do that. Once they report that they're not feeling well to me, or someone they love isn't feeling well, they turn it over to us, to Bharati, my mom. Once it's on the healing list, they're very happy. Because they've done the best they can do. They put it out there for its destiny to be kind to it. Occasionally, this is Maharaj being honest, occasionally a reaction that's emotional or mental happens in the mind, but it is at once noticed. The awareness, the witnessing, notices that an old tendency, an old tape just got put on accidentally, where you're angry at someone, or you're feeling lonely, or you're feeling frustrated, or you're feeling doubtful, or you're feeling abandoned. Big problem, people feel abandoned because of things that happen in our infancy, our childhood. We can't even locate what happened. But abandonment, that sense of loneliness, very often there. When it comes, don't feed it by dwelling on it. Don't ask about it. It's an old tape that somehow got on your tape recorder by mistake. Doesn't belong there. You want what will bring you instantly into the now, where it's safe, where it's pure, where it's without desire, without fears, without memories. So it's up to us not to fuel those fires of the past, not to give it any reason to return or expand. Cut it off, like you do with a fire. You smother it. You smother it with the present, with the now. The now is a great blanket that covers all of the past. And it's warm and cozy there. Here we go. He says, if something old, some old emotion or mental jarring emotion happens in the mind, it's at once noticed and discarded, thrown away, no attention. After all, as long as one is burdened with a person, then one is exposed to its idiosyncrasies and habits. You have to deal with those. If you're identifying yourself as Jeevani, as Joan, as Tanya, as Jackie, as Walter, any. It comes with baggage, right? We're not without baggage. You want to stop identifying, it's up to you to do it. Nobody can do it for you. Question, are you not afraid of death? Maharaj, I'm dead already. No. Question, what do you mean? In what sense are you dead already? Maharaj, I'm double dead. Not only am I dead to my body, I'm also dead to my mind. Question, well, you don't look dead to me. Maharaj, that's what you said. You seem to know my state better than I do. Question, well, I'm sorry, but I just don't understand. You say you are bodiless and mindless, while I see you very much alive and articulate, actually. Maharaj, I'm going to read this straight. A tremendously complex work is going on all the time in your brain and body. Are you aware of it? Are you conscious of it? There's a whole complex work going on inside of you. Are you aware of that? Digestion, circulation, do we know? We don't know. Are you conscious of it? Not at all. Yet for an outsider, all seems to be going on intelligently and purposefully. Why not admit that your entire personal life may sink largely below the threshold of consciousness and yet proceed sanely and smoothly without our paying attention to it? Things can go on. In fact, some of you know things go on better when we're not involved in judging what's going on or commenting upon it. Things get done perfectly. Chanting, reading, walking, when our mind is on our center, on our sense of I am. Question. I don't know, it doesn't sound normal to me. Is it normal? Maharaj, what is normal? Is your life the life obsessed by desires and fears, full of strife and struggle, full of meaningless and joyless activities? You call that a normal life? To be acutely conscious of your body all the time, is that normal? To be torn apart by feelings, tortured by thoughts, you call that normal? A healthy body, a healthy mind live largely unperceived by their owner. Only occasionally, through pain or suffering, do they call for attention and insight. That's for a healthy body. Why not extend the same to your entire personal life? One can function rightly, responding well and fully to whatever happens without having to bring it into the focus of awareness. When self-control, I love that word. When, people try to sneak out, no. The door gives them. This is the final instruction in this paragraph. When self-control becomes second nature, awareness shifts its focus then to deeper levels of existence and action. When you can restrain it means that when you can restrain the senses, not stop them. When you can restrain the senses so that you don't overeat, so that you don't. Bharati, one question. I just want to say something to you. Marvin wasn't feeling well yesterday. Now everybody knows. He's feeling a little better tonight, but we have to go home. So I'm not going to see you until March. I just wanted to wish a happy new year.
You'll be there for Guruji's birthday.
I'll be there for Guruji's birthday. Thank you very much for everything. I'll email you about posting it. And
sorry, the reason I have to go is because we do
I know
have
you have
guests.
to go, but I just
And it's
wanted
now.
I know, I wanted to say goodbye.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for filling in with all the wonderful teachers. By the way, I may not be here, but you saw Maba presents a different wisdom, a different color, a different frequency, and it's all delicious. Bharati is Bharati. Nobody can take Bharati's place. Everybody has her own unique function here. The one thing that remains the same at this ashram is the power and the presence and the beauty that reminds you of your true life. So don't avoid coming because it's the winter or because you prefer to listen to this one or that one. It has nothing to do with the real reason for coming here. So don't stop coming. This is your home. You can go visit other places once in a while, but this is where you live. Where you live. You have to go a little bit, not too much. Just finishing here, just a couple more lines. You just said we can function beautifully, but just below the level of consciousness. The question is not giving up. It says, don't you become a robot living like that, a robot? Maharaj, what's the harm in making automatic what is habitual and repetitive? What question? What is the harm in making automatic what is habitual and repetitive? It's automatic anyway. But when it's also characterized, I'm sorry, well, it's automatic in our behavior, our thinking is automatic anyway when we're not focused on it. But when it is also chaotic, it causes pain and suffering and calls for our attention. The entire purpose of a clean and well-ordered life is to liberate man from the thraldom of chaos and the burden of sorrow. This is an uneducated man. Listen to how he speaks. The entire purpose. If you've ever wondered why should you give service, you have to struggle just to get along. And you have to give service. You have to help people. We have to stop hating people and being jealous of people. We have to. We're all envious in some way or other. That has to stop. Because the entire purpose of a clean and well-ordered life is to liberate man from the thraldom of chaos and the burden of suffering. We owe it to ourselves to help others realize that they need no help. And the only way we can help others to realize that is to be beyond help ourselves, because we don't need help. We have everything we need. We're omnipotent. We're omnipresent as consciousness, all-powerful as consciousness, and all-knowing, omniscient as consciousness. We don't need anything. But as Walter reminded us, we need people to enjoy, like the ice cream after the meal, dessert. That's what good companions, good friends, good husbands, good wives, good children can be for us. Dessert. It's okay to have dessert. We know it's not real because it changes from one form to another. We have to realize that even what we are convinced is real is not real. Once we realize that, we're practically home free. Final question. Questioner, no matter what you say, you seem to be in favor of a computerized life. Maharaj, he's always so surprising. Maharaj, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with a life which is free from problems? Personality is merely a reflection of the real. Why shouldn't the reflection be true to the original as a matter of course, automatically? Need the person have any designs of his own? The life of which it is an expression will guide it. The life of which the person is an expression will guide it. Once you realize that the person that you are and I am is merely a shadow of the reality, but not reality itself, you suddenly stop fretting and worrying. It's only the person that imagines it needs something. All of us, if we're sitting here tonight feeling that I'm not completely fulfilled, if I only had him or her or it, we're wrong. That person changes, we change, because it's only our imagination that is imagining we're missing something. We're not. We're missing our origin, our beingness, our peace of mind, our ecstasy we're missing. We lost it somewhere. We lost our ecstasy, but it's ready to be found. All that we have to do is wipe the clouds away, and we'll find we never lost it. It was there all the time. Once you realize that the person is merely a shadow of the reality, but not reality itself, you stop fretting, you stop worrying, and you agree. It's very important. We have to agree. It will not happen by itself. We have to agree to it. We have to allow it. You have to agree to be guided from within. And life becomes then a journey into the unknown. A journey into the unknown. The important word there was what?
Agree.
Agree. Because if we don't pay attention, if we're not holding on to that sense of now, the present, and the I am, and we allow those lapses into the past, it's nobody's fault but our own, right? Our happiness is right here on our fingertips. You can get it anytime. Isn't that good news? Very good news. Sri Nisargadatta actually says, when you realize the truth of these teachings, it feels like a huge weight has just been taken from your shoulders. We're walking around with a weight that doesn't exist, but we feel it. It's like Guruji often told, when a leg is removed, people feel, I don't know if I'm giving that example, but he said in medicine it's well known that after a leg is removed for whatever reason, the patient still feels the leg, still feels its toes wiggling. Well, once the burden is removed, we don't have to remember something that was unreal to begin with. Once you live in the now and learn to witness and practice witnessing and merge into meditation, forget all that other stuff. Rumi said, forget your life. It's time to pray. He meant it's time to meditate. Enjoy your life, but when it's causing a problem, drop it. I heard Dharma Dev, he's going, that means it's time to meditate. We're getting late. So close your eyes, no time to waste. Close your eyes and take a very deep breath. Breathe in deeply. And as you exhale now slowly, feel as though you're releasing all the words, all the memories, and are just left with feelings, pulsations, tingling, the dance of the atoms and molecules deep within you. Feel it now. Our cells remember the truths we have listened to in lifetimes past with our gurus, our one guru in the form of many gurus. And so they dance when they feel their home. Krishna Devi, would you lead us in our traditional prayer?
Sure.